Yo, what up everybody? ETA on the EUC. I'm gonna leave my glasses on. Oh, there's the train. I don't know if you can see it up there. It's up there somewhere. Shit, I gotta pay attention. I'm about to get hit by cars. So that explains, well, I'm about to explain why I'm riding around instead of sitting down, giving you an update here on my earnings. But first, let's get into the, well, let me just say I'm riding around because here in New York, let me put my glasses back on. I don't like the wind. Like here in New York, you try to find somewhere quiet to sit and do a recording, but there's like no privacy in the city. So for me, it's just like less awkward to ride around, and it helps me concentrate. If I'm sitting there, I feel like an audience is watching me and it just distracts me. I'm not used to that. So anyway, what happened to the screen, dude? So anyway, let's just get right into it. Describe the earnings. So the earnings, once again, Uber was in lead. This is the second week, by the way. Uber was in lead with, I don't have the shit in front of me. I think it was like 1,200 or something like that. And then I think Grubhub was like 134, and then DoorDash was like, I don't know, 150 or something. I don't know, but you'll see the screenshots here. It'll tell you. Also, it's currently 11 p.m. right now, October 3rd. I just got done with my shift. It's slow as shit today, man. It was pretty slow Monday, and then Tuesday as well. So, apologize for the low lighting. Yeah, it's been weird. It's like, it's just been weird. You know, it's like you think it's gonna be late, or you think the earnings are gonna be good late at night, like, cause they've been pretty good for like the last few weeks at night, and then like these last 2 days just died. I don't know. I think the rain had a lot to do with the busyness levels. By the way, I'm on my Sherman, Sherman Max. Ooh, anyway, yeah, so the totals altogether, I think it was, well, I just did the math. It says 1530.31. It might be different than what you see on the earnings for each app, because I got 2 tips that were physical tips. I know that doesn't sound right. I got a physical tip, like fucking perverts. Did I even have the camera pointed at me? Anyway, yeah, I had 2 physical tips there. It was, one was like $10, the other one was like $2. So that's why the earnings, that's why I said it was 1530 instead of like whatever the hell that number would be on the apps. So, if you guys aren't aware, ever since I started food delivery, I started an Excel chart thing. I don't know what the hell you call it, where I track my earnings. I guess you can call it earning tracker. And I've been using it. My first year, I used it the most. And then after that first year, you know, my first year I would track like dollar per hour, I would track how much I was making per week. I was tracking my averages, everything. I was tracking my hours. I was checking my yearly earnings. You know, it's a lot of detail in that. If you're interested in it, I highly suggest you get it. It's for free. It's in the link in my description. It's like the very bottom link. It says something like a free Excel tracker. All you got to do is go to that link, click the link, and then in the description portion of that video, you'll see a downloadable link where you can download the shit. And don't worry, I know the file is small and it looks like a fucking virus, but trust me, I'm not that sophisticated. I'm not out here gonna do you no harm, okay? So you can have full confidence if you download that link. No shenanigans, okay? It's legit. It's a free tracker that I highly suggest you get. Once again, tracks your earnings, tracks your averages, blah, blah, blah. You'll see here. Where am I going? Let's go this way, even though I've been this way. So yeah, I'll just pull up B-roll here of the tracker. And this was for last week, my earnings. I put down my hours I worked, which are probably 98% accurate. Because as soon as I stop working, I hit the stop button on my timer. Well, as soon as I stop working, I track that time. Trust me, right when I start, I go by the minute. As first as I start, I put down that time, and as soon as I stop, I put down that time. So it's like highly accurate, the time. And also the earnings are pretty accurate, or probably at least 95% accurate. And I say 95 because the tips could have changed eventually, or maybe I missed a earning here or there. But the earnings are also very accurate. So this is actually a very accurate representation of what I made. Go back this way. All right, so I have a little bit of notes here, but anyway, I'm gonna try to briefly go over it. So Monday, as far as I can tell, I think it was raining Monday, and I was out for 9.1 hours. I made $30.53, which is not uncommon in the rain. If you do deliveries in the rain, at least in New York City, you're gonna get bombarded with orders, and it is not uncommon to hit $30 per hour in the rain. Very common, especially now when it's getting closer to the busy season. I wouldn't say it's the busy season yet. The week prior, my last week earnings, I think on Saturday or Friday, I did $38 an hour, okay, during the rain. So it was insane. But anyway, as you see, those dollar per hours fluctuate. The next day, I think it was raining a little bit, not the entire day though. And that day I put in almost 10 hours, 9.9 hours. And the dollar per hour was $25.43 minutes. $25.43 for Tuesday per hour for the entirety of the 9.9 hours. Wednesday, it just got really slow. So last year, Thursdays was the slowest day out of the week. But so far, it appears that Wednesday here in New York City has been the slowest day. It just like transformed like out of nowhere. Thursday used to be the slowest. Wednesday was like the second slowest. But now it seems like we're by the water, by the way. This is probably my favorite part of the city. I hardly ever come here though. I only come here on deliveries. But anyway, yeah, so it was just really slow that day. And as you see, I'm not lying, no bullshit. $15 an hour, $15.27 per hour for the entirety of 9.8 hours. For almost 10 hours, I made 15. 27. These are averages, once again, dollar per hour, right? So one of those hours I could have made 30, who knows? And then the rest of those were really low paying, and then low dollar per hour, and then it just averaged out maybe to 15. I doubt I made I doubt I made $30 an hour that day though, in any one of those hours within that 9.8 hours. Anyway, I'm talking too much here. Let's go to the next one. Thursday I made 130.56. Sorry, I'm getting my shit all mixed up here, man. Wednesday I made almost 150 for 9.8 hours. Thursday I made 130, slowest, the least paying day out of them all, 5.8 hours. And I left a note here. What did I put? Because I can't remember without leaving notes. So I started late because I had obligations I needed to take care of. Stopped working around 9:50 p.m. because heavy rain. I went back to the apartment to do walking mode, but walking mode was silent, so I decided to start fresh the next day. So basically what happened is I started late. I was on my electric unicycle. It started raining real heavy. I didn't want to chance it, so I went back to my apartment. Figured since it was raining heavy, I'd do walking mode, because when it's raining heavy, almost certainly you're gonna get orders on walking mode, but for whatever reason, I wasn't getting orders that day. I don't know why. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't wanna go back out in the rain. I didn't really feel like it. My unicycle, if I'm not even getting orders in the rain walking, then it's probably not even worth it to be out. I don't know. Maybe just an excuse, so I stopped, and I only worked 5.8 hours that day. Next day was the highest earning day. Maybe I was motivated from the day prior to work more, I don't know. Once again, 9.1 hours. Made $306.37, $33 an hour. 33.67 cents per hour. So another $30 per hour day. And I also have notes on that. What notes did I put? It probably rained that day. So I put the notes here, walked from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So for 2 hours I walked. And then the rest of those hours used were on my EUC, my electric unicycle. All right. And then Saturday, a low paying day once again for the amount of hours I put in. I put in 9.8 hours, only made $131.50 in almost 10 hours. That's $13.42. So this is what I'm talking about, why I don't feel like it's peak time, why I don't feel like it's peak season, because from what I remember, anything under $23 an hour didn't happen very often during the peak season. But this was like a year ago for me. Things could have changed a lot. That's the thing with these food delivery stuff. Times change. You know, one season last year for the same season might be different this season, blah, 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 if that made any sense. But anyway, this is why I'm not saying it's peak season yet, because I'm still doing like less than minimum wage, like Jesus, you know. And then Sunday I made $194.90, 9.1 hours. I made $21.42 an hour. So if I do all those dollar per hours and I average them out, for that week I made average $23.18 per hour. Okay, my average hours through all the days worked was 8.9 hours. So, you know, when I started this, I said I was gonna work 12 hours a day, right? Well, it's really dark. I'm gonna turn back around here. But I wasn't really tracking my time. I mean, I guess I didn't really care. I was kind of, also this week I wasn't starting in the morning. I was starting like around like 4 p.m. and then I just worked. Or I would start around like 1 p.m. and I would work to like 1 a.m. Or I would try to work to 1 a.m. That was my goal, but obviously I was ending earlier. The reason why I'm not working in the morning that week was because I felt like the nights were good enough. Like I was staying busy. What's the point of like working in the morning if you know nights are going to be busy? This week's a little different so far. Nights have slowed down a little bit, but I also been working in the morning. Well, today I worked in the morning. Today the morning was slow as well. So both the morning and night today was slow. But yeah, that's the thing. Here's the thing, right? So if you do the math on that, now let me just say $23 an hour for the average for the week. That's really not that high, right? Like $23 an hour average. You know, that's not that high, right? Like during the peak season of last year, I think, during the peak season last year, which is like in the midst of fall and peak winter season, you know, for not just a day average, I was making $30 an hour, but like I'm talking about the week average. So all those averages together averaged, I was doing $30 an hour. So $23 an hour, I wouldn't call that peak season. Now, I'm not gonna get into the nitty gritty of that. I'm not gonna talk about like, oh, it's because I wasn't working at this time, or I'm not stacking orders or whatever. If it's busy, I should be making more. If it's busy every day, like peak season, I should be making more than $23 an hour on average for the week. So this is why I'm not considering it peak season yet, although it's showing signs. Like the nights have been pretty good, although tonight and yesterday night was kind of slow. So it's like, what the fuck's going on here? It's like the seasons, right? It's like, well, the last couple of days were kind of warm. Last week was raining, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking too much here. All right, so what else? That's the other thing, right? What I was talking about, and then I just got sidetracked. So the hours I worked for the week were only 62.6 hours. You know, 62 and a half hours, basically. That's like a job. That's like a full-time job plus a part-time job. People do that all across the nation, and it's like no big deal. 60 hours. So I'm not even working that much, and I still made $1,500. This is pre-tax, by the way. So it's not that bad. I mean, you know. So if I was to do the math on that, $23 an hour times, okay, so if I was to work 12 hours, 7 days a week, like I said I was gonna do, you know, what is that, 80 something hours? I don't know, I'm not gonna do the math. And then you times that times 23. I did the math before I came out here. That's like around $2,000. So if I was to make $23 an hour, like I did this week, but I was actually working 12 hours. If I was actually working 12 hours like I said I would have made $2,000. So right now it's doable. It's doable to make $2,000 a week before taxes. That was my goal. That's my optimal, whatever. It's my goal. My main goal. That's definitely doable. And I was only working average almost 9 hours for the week per day. And I still made $1,500. So that's pretty good. And honestly, I thought I just didn't do the math beforehand, but $23, that's not even that much, dude. Like when it hits peak season, if I was to make $30 an hour and worked 9, hours on average, that, you know, I would definitely hit 2 grand, like over 2 grand. And then imagine doing 12 hours during peak season every day. That's almost 80 hours. That's 80 hours or something, I don't know. That's over 2 grand, easy, $30 an hour. So it's doable. Even right now it's doable. And obviously I didn't do that. I'm not hitting my goal 12 hours. And that's another thing I want to talk about is I'm not really sure. I sound very let me show this shit right here. This is beautiful, man. Look at this. This shit's beautiful, man. I'm definitely like a water person. Like, I love the fucking water, man. Like, I used to live in, well, I was born in California, and my grandma used to take my mom and shit and us kids out to the ocean, like Pismo Bay. The fucking, dude, this shit's fucking awesome, man. It's just, it just relaxes me. Like, this is why I love this shit. That's why I like Chicago. I used to work, like an OSHA aquarium thing. I don't even know. But it's like a museum, and it's like right on the fucking water. And it was like an aquarium, a big ass aquarium. And I used to work there. I was like a cleaning manager and shit. And we used to do overnights there. And just the smell of like the aquariums and shit, they had like dolphins and shit. It was badass, dude. And just the smell of that brings me back. Just the smell of this. Is this even the ocean? Is this part of the ocean? Yeah, it is part of the ocean. Yeah. Anyway, wow, sidetrack. The fuck was I saying? So that's another thing I wanted to bring up is I'm not sure if I want to continue this weekly dollar per hour, this weekly earnings update thing. And I know I'm the one that brought that shit up, and I know I'm the one that was like, oh, we're gonna do this, and I built it all up. But today I was thinking about it, and I don't really feel, I don't know, part of me like, a part of me doesn't want to be that personable. Like, a part of me doesn't want to give away that kind of information. Because believe it or not, I'm kind of a private person. YouTube is like a medium to go beyond that, you know? And I'm sorry if I haven't been looking at the camera. Once again, not very personable, right? But YouTube gives me that opportunity to go beyond that, to be blah, blah, I explained that. And it's just like, I don't know if I want to put that pressure on me. I don't know if I want to like, I don't know if I want to make this channel mainly about money. And it just kind of feel, even though it's like one video a week, I don't know, it just doesn't, something about it just doesn't, maybe I just feel uncomfortable sharing my earnings. Now that I'm doing this right now and I'm giving an update for week 2, I feel like I want to keep doing it. But like earlier today, I was almost convinced that I'm not going to keep doing it. So I'm sorry if I'm flip-flopping on this. I'm just being honest. And it's not because I'm trying to like get out of this quote-unquote challenge of paying off my school debt in the fall and the winter. It's just that like, I don't know, it's just like too much information, you know what I mean? Like given out to the public, you know? It's just like, here's all my personal information, you know, like, and money is really personal. It's like, in a lot of ways, it does say a lot about you. It says a lot about your life situation, your choices, and you can think whatever you want about that. And that's another thing, guys, like, I don't want like any sympathy, you know, like for the, like one of the recent videos I put out, was like making less than minimum wage at NYC. And I knew that video was gonna get a lot of views. I wasn't sure on the title I wanted, but I knew it was gonna be something like, originally I was gonna name it like, like this is getting embarrassing, ... or something like that, you know, just because I knew what I made that day, and I knew that like it was like less than minimum wage. So I knew that that video was gonna get views and stuff like that. And like when you put something out like that where you're just like making less than minimum wage, and then I had the thumbnail where I'm just like in deep thought, like what am I doing in like an abandoned room and shit. It almost looks like a warehouse. It's intriguing, right? It gets views, so clickbait, whatever. But it's true, it wasn't clickbait. I made less than minimum wage, and I have been thinking about that shit, so not entirely clickbait, guys. I knew it was gonna get a lot of views, but when you put something like that out, especially people that haven't been watching my journey or explain why I'm out here doing this, making less than minimum wage at times, you know, people want to say things like, man, I feel bad for you, or I make $200,000. I remember when I made less than minimum wage. This is what you have to do. You know, it's cool, man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all comments. You know, I do the same shit when I like watch other people's YouTube, but like really I'm not looking for like advice. Like I'm not looking for, like I'm well aware like where I am economically. Like I know where that puts me. I'm not making these videos explaining less than minimum wage and my earnings and shit to get sympathy. Like that's not what I want. That makes me feel bad, you know? Like why would I'm not out here trying to get petty sympathy and shit. I'm out here because I like making videos. I find YouTube a great medium. I enjoy doing this, and hopefully maybe down the road or whatever, I can monetize certain aspects, whatever. That's just the truth. You know, I'm not out here doing this to get sympathy. So you can feel bad for me, that's cool, I respect that, and leave your comments if that's how you really feel, but I'm not really looking for that. So to post my personal shit out here, like whatever, I don't know what the hell I'm getting with this. Let's get on to the next thing. I actually put notes. I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. Man, this is a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be. Let's see here. Anyway, oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, so right now I feel like I want to continue the weekly earnings. Right now I feel that way, but earlier I didn't feel that way. So I'm sorry if in the future I don't put it out there. I'm not trying to hide anything. Or maybe I am trying to hide it. I just want to keep, maybe I want to keep that part private. I've already mentioned this. Let's move on to the next thing. So if that happens, you'll know why. And if you ask how much I earn or whatever, I'll let you know. But I'm not guaranteeing right now that I'm gonna keep doing this every week, these earning things. I might, I just don't know right now. I wanted to say that. So the other thing I want to talk about is, ooh, we got some scary motorcyclists. There you go. That's what I wanted. A little bit of rev. They're probably gonna go by here. Yeah, let's see them. There you go. There we go. Are they turning around? They don't give a shit about me. Honestly, I kind of find those fucking exhausts like super annoying. Like, I'm a hater, dude, when it comes to those exhausts. Like, especially the ones that go pop, pop like a gun. Like, why, dude? Like, why do you do that to the public? Like, that's so annoying. In my head, I just think douche. I'm sorry. you might have a love of cars and loud exhaust, but it's just, in my head, it's douchey, dude. I'm sorry. You probably think I'm a douche. You probably think I'm a loser or whatever. That's just my personal opinion. So you can have your personal opinion about me. All right. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it was this week or next week, but New York has finally done the minimum wage thing. It was held up in courts. It was supposed to go, if you're not aware, New York is doing a minimum wage now for food delivery drivers, which is the first in the country. There's been pay per hour before, but not a mandate minimum wage. So I think New York's the only city in the country that's doing a mandate minimum wage for Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber, all these food delivery apps. Some are exempt, like Relay and shit. I don't know all the details, but I know the ones I'm doing, Grubhub, DoorDash. Let's get some cool siding here. So I know like the ones I'm doing, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats, are doing the are doing the mandate minimum wage thing. And starting out, it's going to be almost $18 an hour. We got to keep the tips on top of that. I have my worries about it. You know, these apps have a lot of freedom to kind of choose how they want to like manipulate things. Like they can manipulate shit out of it. It sounds good. $18 an hour, you got to keep the tips. You're thinking, oh, at least, you know, I'm making $20-something an hour easily every day. But I don't think it's going to be that simple, guys. I think, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Who knows? Maybe I could be wrong, though. That's the thing. So yeah, that goes into effect either, I think, probably next week, because I haven't heard anything from the apps this week. So maybe next week that goes into effect. It was held up in the courts. It was supposed to pass last July, which would have been nice during the summer when it was really slow. Of course, we had to suffer through the summer. And me, at least, I was making less than minimum wage, and I was making minimum wage and sometimes less than minimum wage. I wasn't really tracking my earnings like I am right now. But I know the days I was recording, I was making less, and the other days I was struggling to make weekly quotas for myself, earnings. What else? Blah, blah, blah. What the fuck was I gonna say? So yeah, I think that starts next week. We're gonna see how that goes. This whole time, it's been pay per order. Other places in the country before have done dollar per hour, but it's never been like a mandate minimum wage. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to read more about the mandate minimum wage for New York City. Let's just see how that goes, man. I'm hoping for the best. It could change a lot of things. It could really fuck things up. Like I said, busy season should be happening very soon. We're starting to get signs of it, the nighttime and shit. So I am kind of worried, like how this minimum wage might affect the business season. It would have been nice during the summer. But during the busy season, like I said, we can make $30 an hour easily. So I'm kind of worried, if that's just going to lower our dollar per hour for the busy season, which means that can affect my chance to pay off my student loans. My goal for the busy season, once again, my goal was to pay off student loans through the fall and the winter. I have about 20 grand left. So we're gonna see how that goes. We'll see how next week goes, see how this minimum wage shit goes. Supposedly, they're gonna have two options where it's a mandate minimum wage thing, dollar per hour, and then we'll also have the option to do what we're doing now for the pay per order. But who knows how this shit's gonna change? We'll just see. I don't know. It could be good or bad. I'm kind of pessimistic about it, but whatever. So to recap, well, not to recap, but so at the end, this is what I paid my last payment for the student loans. The 90 some was for interest, and the other was just threw on there to get rid of one of my loans out of the many loans for the student loans that I took out. Once again, not sure if I'm gonna make this update again next week, but I'm kind of enjoying it right now, so maybe I will. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I ranted way longer than I thought I was gonna do, but I think it's gonna be a fun video to edit. Anyway, actually, I really enjoyed this. So maybe I'll see you on the next week. There will definitely continue to be weekly vlogs doing food deliveries. That's the whole bread and butter of this channel. That's not going away. So no worry about that, guys. Here's the view once again. Whatever bridge this is, what is it, William Bridge? I have no idea. On the other side over here is New Jersey across the water. Go from Manhattan to Jersey. All right. Talk to you guys later.